Thanks so much, Senator Heitkamp, for those remarks, and thanks for the work that you do for us all in Washington. Well, our next speaker, serving as North Dakota Public Service Commissioner, overseeing issues facing utilities and energy industries, Congressman Cramer has an informed perspective of the issues being faced by our industries. We all appreciate that expertise in Washington. Please join me in welcoming the Honorable Congressman Kevin Cramer.
Wow. You know, one thing about going after all the smart people is I've got all kinds of things rolling around my head, but one of the things that keeps rolling around is I sure hope the NSA wasn't tapping all those phone calls, Al, that we had, trying to figure out a creative way to do the right thing. Legally, I'm pretty sure we did it right. But at any rate, it's great to be here finally at this moment, in this place, celebrating Heidi. All the above. Here it is, in one place, all the above. You can stand in one spot and see exactly what it is everybody else thinks they're talking about. And it's awesome. It's a privilege to be part of all of that. And Senator Hogan, with regard to the states first, this is us. We had a hearing. There is not a week that goes by that I'm on the Science Committee and the Natural Resources Committee, and there's not a week that goes by that we don't have a hearing on something related directly to states' rights. And we had a hearing the other day, and a distinguished gentleman from another state said, well, maybe Wyoming and North Dakota don't want a minimum standard, but my constituents in California do. And I said, and they have one. But please don't impose it on our excellence. That's the point. You have a minimum standard. You like high standards. I often love to remember and quote one of North Dakota's favorite sons, Eric Severide, when he called North Dakota the rectangular blank spot on the nation's conscience. And I like to say that today, John, Heidi, and I get to go to Washington and stand on the rectangular stage under the nation's spotlight. And wouldn't you love to bring every one of our colleagues to this place and say, this is it, this is what we're talking about. By the way, notice how clean the air is and how productive the land is? You know, that states really do know how to do it. So, and Julie Fedorchuk, it's always good to be with the person that replaced me at the Public Service Commission, because it serves as testimony how successful an election can be in improving two institutions in the same election. But how innovative to know that we have this tremendous supply of the things that people need to sustain themselves. Food and energy, and then to know that when there's a down economy someplace, we can actually create the demand in the very same place. It's good to be us. It's really good to be us. So we celebrate that. Look, I won't go on. There are so many things that I can think of to talk about that I won't bore you with. But there's one thing that John and Heidi and I have a great privilege of doing in Washington. We have the opportunity as members of Congress to have United States flags flown over our Capitol in honor of specific events and accomplishments. And we do it pretty regularly. Now, the nice thing is that there's a lot of capacity on the top of the Capitol to fly flags for new business opportunities, because most of our colleagues don't get to go to many ribbon cuttings or groundbreakings. That's sort of become a North Dakota thing, because there's so much going on here. So it was my honor, David, Mike, Al, and Greg, everybody that's involved, on behalf of our delegation, to have a flag flown over the United States Capitol in honor of this day in this facility, to commemorate this time, and I'm sure it'll find a proper place of distinction. Al, it's appropriately yours.